Labor Day, the Pirates take their pennant chase on the road and to St. Louis, where they take on the defending National League champion St. Louis Cardinals, a rematch of the National League Division Series. And why not? The Buccos and the Cardinals meet in the first of a three-game series, and we check out the standings in the National League Central Division. The Brewers and the Cardinals tied atop the Central. The Pirates hot on their tails, 2 games behind the front-running St. Louis Cardinals. Greg Brown along with John Wehner. Happy Labor Day to you. Nothing better than baseball and a pennant race on a Labor Day here in 2014. And John, probably nothing better if you were to ask who would you want on the mound today to start this stretch drive. I would think that you would choose, and most of us would choose, Garrett Cole.
Yeah, we saw Garrett Cole last year. It seemed every start he made was a big start, including the 2 big ones in the St. Louis series in the playoffs. This last start, that intensity we saw again, which we hadn't seen really since last year. I'm not saying that he wasn't intense, but not this type of intensity. And you could see it. The emotion was on his face. The stuff was electric like we saw all last year. You could tell he couldn't wait to get off the DL to have these kind of starts.
And look what the Pirates have done in terms of their starting rotation. A 4-1 record. This is over the last 9 games. And keep in mind, the Pirates have won 3 straight series against the Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Cincinnati Reds. And that's where it all starts, John.
No question. That's why you win series. You have to have great starting pitching. And this team, it seemed like every other night there was a starter flirting with a no-hitter. And against some good offenses. Obviously, the Cardinals, the Brewers, are very good offensive clubs. But our starting pitching, once again, has stepped up at the right time.
Well, on September 1st, everybody around baseball can expand their rosters. The Pirates have started it. Tony Sanchez will be the 3rd-string catcher for the Pirates. He returns to the big leagues. Stormy Pimentel comes off the disabled list, and a handful more will join the team tomorrow after the AAA Indianapolis season ends today.
Yeah, I think you like to have, I'm sure Clint Hurdle wanted that 3rd catcher just in case. You never know, and you want the help in the bullpen. And Pimentel is going to be okay, and he's a guy that could be stretched out. So just for the time being, a couple of guys, and we'll get some more here in a minute.
All right, the Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals ready to play ball. The Pirates trying to be locked in on Lynn. Lance Lynn will oppose Garrett Cole. It's a rematch of last Tuesday night's game in Pittsburgh, where the Pirates came out on top. We'll talk about the starting pitching coming up next. St. Louis Cardinals, opposed by Garrett Cole. We talked about Garrett Cole. Also want to talk about Lance Lynn and check out our day automotive key matchups. These Pirates have had tremendous numbers over their careers against Lance Lynn. Josh Harrison, Neil Walker, Russell Martin, and Starling Marte.
Yeah, the team as a whole, the batting average just south of 300. Their OPS, 846 career against Lance Lynn. And for a guy that's had some pretty impressive success as a big league pitcher. But, pretty amazing, this guy, Andrew McCutchen, and how he struggles against Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn, by the way, in his last start against the Pirates, he threw 105 pitches, 90 fastballs. Andrew McCutchen's one of the best, if not the best, fastball hitter in all of baseball. But look at these numbers. A 111 average against Lynn, against all other righties, 318. Slugging, down 410 points. Swing percentage up a little bit. Swing and miss percentage up a lot. Really hard to figure. I can't
ask you to explain it.
I cannot explain it. I don't understand it. Lynn obviously comes at Andrew McCutchen, and for some reason Andrew McCutchen can't square it up.
And we'll watch that, of course, throughout the day. We'll also be watching this great matchup of great backstops for the Pirates. Russell Martin and, of course, Yadier Molina, just recently returned from the disabled list. Pirates and the Cardinals. More to come from St. Louis in a moment. A lot of Cardinal fans as well into St. Louis's Busch Stadium as Yadier Molina warms up Lance Lynn. Molina just back off the disabled list. And, John, he is, I guess, to the Cardinals what Andrew McCutchen is to the Pirates.
No question. It's a different team with Molina behind the plate. Not just with what he does with the bat, but what he does behind the plate, calling the games. Adam Wainwright, for one, would definitely say he'd rather have Molina out here. His numbers are way worse without Molina. And you know, for years they've been saying he's the best in the National League, the total package, the bat and the things he does behind the plate. I'm going to say now one of the best because of what Russell Martin has done. Russell Martin's numbers, he's ranking right there with Molina, and obviously the caught stealings favors Molina, but Russell Martin, invaluable to this club, just like Molina is with his.
Our Barrel Automotive League leaders. So that's the story behind the plate, and here in St. Louis, ready to play ball on this Labor Day. Let's send it back to Pittsburgh. He's working today, Rob King, for a game break.
Pittsburgh Pirate team won't go away.
Raise the Jolly Roger!
Wow, how exciting is this?
On the way out to the mound and onto the field, Daniel Descalso taking over today at third base. Matt Carpenter getting the day off, and folks taking in the sights on this Labor Day. And not a bad day at all, as it turns out. Cloud cover helping cool things off. Check out the starting lineup for the Pirates, brought to you by Toyota. Josh Harrison, Andrew Lambeau, and Andrew McCutchen, top three. Then it's Neil Walker, Russell Martin, and Ike Davis. Starling Marte is hitting .323 since the All-Star break. He'll be followed by Jordy Mercer and Garrett Cole. Josh Harrison will be leading things off, and he's probably the leading contender to take home the August Player of the Month award in the National League.
He'll face Lance Lynn. One more win to give him 15 for 3 straight years. Only one other guy in baseball's done that. Max Scherzer is the other, and pretty good stuff. Lance Lynn, you never think of him as one of the best, but he has been pitching like one of the best, and continues to go out there with pretty much one pitch. He's only thrown mostly fastballs, an occasional changeup or slider, but you know what you're going to get, and he relies on locating it and missing the barrel. And our job, find that barrel. You know, another interesting stat. Since July 4th, only Clayton Kershaw has a better ERA than Lance Lynn.
He's so unheralded and underrated, because I think he's been overshadowed in this rotation by Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, and he's just kind of taken a back seat to those two.
Even Michael Wacha.
And Michael Wacha.
Last year and a half.
Lynn was 15-10 last year, won 18 games 2 years ago, 18-7. First pitch strike and underway on this Labor Day. Milwaukee behind the plate. Josh Harrison, a 6-game hitting streak. He is 1 percentage point behind Justin Morneau for the National League lead in hitting. The great numbers in the month of August is to carry over since he took over everyday starting role in mid-May. Since the All-Star break, 26 extra base hits to lead the league. Home run that he hit yesterday, his first at bat, bottom of the first inning, to give the Pirates a quick 1-0 lead. But Chris Heisey and the Reds came back to salvage the finale of that series. A line drive to left field.
So fun to watch. The hands are so loose and free in that swing, and it's just fun to watch. He jumps on the fastball. He looks for the fastball every pitch. He gets one inner third, thigh high, and he just flicks the wrists.
Just another hit for Jay Hay, and a 7-game hitting streak now. Not only are we going to be having fun with this pennant race for the next month, but like we had a few years ago with Freddie Sanchez when he was going toe-to-toe with Miguel Cabrera, then of the Marlins, watching what Cabrera did each and every day. Harrison a chance at the batting title. Ball 1 on Andrew Lambeau. Lambeau getting another start in right field. Travis Snyder's hamstring still barking at him. So Lambeau makes his 3rd straight start in right. 1 ball and 1 strike on Andrew Lambeau.
I like to see him aggressive and gearing up for the fastball. He knows, he's read the scouting reports that Lynn likes to throw a lot of fastballs. He knows that Jay Hay's on first, and with first baseman Adams holding him on, he's got a big hole over there. If he can hit that hole, good chance first and third, nobody out.
It's this toward shallow left center field, and this ball is going to be caught by John Jay. Jay starting in center and came a long way to make that catch in shallow left center field. His wingers, Matt Holliday and Oscar Taveras. On the corners, it's Daniel Descalso and Matt Adams. Pete Cosma at second, Johnny Peralta at short, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Matt Holliday has been on fire. helped lead that comeback over the Chicago Cubs yesterday. They were down 5-0. Yadier Molina, of course, the Cardinals figure that they are going to get a big shot in the arm with his return. And now we check out this matchup that John was talking about with Andrew McCutchen, why he is unable to hit the Lynn fastball. His batting average 4th best in the league, by the way.
So strange. Nothing unique, you wouldn't think.
That ball's hooking toward the wall. Holiday, a long run. He won't get there. But unfortunately, it bounces out of play and robs the Pirates of a run for now. And McCutchen of an RBI. Fortuitous bounce for the Cardinals. A McCutchen double.
Yep, Andrew hits this a little off the end of the bat. Hooks it down the line, and you hope that it hits that wall. You knew, or at least didn't look like Holiday was going to get over there. Not the quickest outfielder in the league, and you knew if it hits the track, good chance it takes a high hop. It does. Those numbers will even out eventually, as long as Lynn stays in the Central and he and McCutchen continue to hook up. McCutchen will get his share of hits.
Well, now it's Neil Walker with the infield back and a chance to get a run, and then now Walker with a chance to pick up the ribby. And he will. That's plenty deep, and extra bases for Neil Walker. That ball will bounce off the base of the wall. McCutchen can coast home. The real deal doubles in a pair, and we're off and running here on this road trip and this big series in St. Louis. The first 2 runs go the way of the Pirates.
Couldn't ask for a better start. This is a big series, and coming out swinging the bats early against Lance Lynn, aggressive against the fastball. The location for Lynn hasn't been great. I know we're only 10 pitches in, but he's been missing with the fastball location. The Pirates up there being aggressive and taking advantage.
Neil Walker's 60th and 61st RBIs, scoring Harrison and McCutchen. 19 doubles on the year for Walker. So Martin takes ball 1. Martin the day off yesterday. Hitting .293. Lance Lynn has struggled against Russell Martin in his career. 6 for 16 is Martin. That's a .375 average. See the runs allowed in the first inning for Lance Lynn. This is Lynn's 4th start this season against the Pirates. 5-3 in his career against the Bucs. One ball, 1 strike. Last 4 games for Martin against the St. Louis Cardinals. 8 hits in 14 at bats. He's been fabulous in these situations. Men in scoring position. One ball, 1 strike to count. Takes another strike. Runners in scoring position. Russell Martin hitting .385. That is tops in the league. And Walker at second.
See, against Russell Martin, he's thrown a couple sliders and a curveball. Tries to sneak one by him upstairs, and you have to wonder, does Lynn change his game plan? Since the All-Star break, he's thrown more fastballs than anybody but one, and that'd be Bartolo Colon's thrown 84%. Lynn 83.5, and I mentioned just 15 off-speed pitches the last start against the Pirates last week.
This fastball misses away, 3-2.
Now he's already thrown a few sliders and not much break to him. Very little break.
Derek Lilliquist is the pitching coach for the Redbirds. Lynn went 6 innings last time out against the Pirates on Tuesday. 6 hits, 2 runs. And he ends up walking Russell Martin. Lance Lynn's pitch usage, velocity, and how the opponents hit against it.
Not very many secondary pitches, and that's on the year since the All-Star break. Again, he's been throwing more fastballs, which is hard to believe when he's at almost 80%.
But you can certainly see why he stays away from the slider and changeup.
Yeah, the slider so far, the changeup very few, but the slider so far, the two breaking balls you saw were more like curveballs, 79, 80 miles an hour. The sliders at 87, 88, and the few we've seen hardly broke at all, almost just like little cutters.
Now Ike Davis, he takes ball one. Davis did not start last Tuesday night against Lance Lynn. Pedro Alvarez was at first base, but Davis certainly played a key role in that game as he hit the pinch hit 2-out 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning against Seth Maness, and the Pirates won that game 5-2. 2-0 count now on Davis.
And it's a good position to be in when you're ahead in the count against a guy like Lynn, because again, you have to be pretty certain what you're going to see. A big shock if this isn't a 2-0 fastball somewhere in the strike zone.
Two and one. Lance Lynn's 28th start of the season. By the way, he's allowed just 8 home runs in 165 innings.
Only one here.
Sheesh. 2 and 1. 3 balls and a strike as he keeps the fastball away from Ike Davis. Lance Lynn, a tremendous month of August. So far, a struggle September the 1st, and he gets Davis to pop this ball up, but looks like it might be heading out of play. No. Molina makes the catch. Ike Davis fouls out.
Good bit of room, a little more room here than at PNC Park, and there is a little bit of a breeze blowing out towards left center. That breeze, with the backspin and the breeze, may have helped this ball stay in play.
Well, it's up to Starling Marte. Taking a look at the flags atop one of the scoreboards here. Yadier Molina just back in the lineup this past Friday. Marte fouls it back and out of play.
It's really amazing, as you mentioned, he just allowed 8 balls to leave the yard this year. Guys that throw a lot of fastballs typically are sinker ballers, get a lot of ground balls. He gets more fly balls than ground balls.
It's 1-1 on Marte. Marte has hit 9 home runs on the year, batting only .222 against Cardinals pitching this season. And now Lynn out in front, 1-2. Gave you those numbers earlier about Marte, another Pirate that has had success against Lance Lynn. 7 out of 16. Pirates and the Cardinals back at it again. Very evenly matched series. You look at the statistics, the team stats, they're evenly matched. Did he go? No. Close, very close. First base umpire James Hoy said no swing. 2-2. For Lynn on the year, 60 walks, 147 strikeouts. Home plate umpire Bill Welke. Crew chief is Ron Kolpa at second. Now Molina and Lynn are going to have to confer here, decide what they want to throw Marte.
You know, you go back to Marte and his resurgence since coming off the disabled list. The one thing I think, the swing's a little bit quicker. The other thing I think it's helped, and I think it kind of plays into the fact that he's shortened up the swing. You don't see the swings and misses. You don't see the chases. You know, it was a foregone conclusion. If you get a strike on Marte, you just go up there and spin some breaking balls out of the zone and see if he'd chase. Oftentimes he did, but he hasn't been chasing nearly as often.
Hits this in the air to center, sending Jay back toward the warning track and approaching the wall, and it is going to be caught by John Jay.
Wow.
Marte sent Jay back to the wall in center field, and a fabulous grab by John Jay to rob Marte of extra bases. Pirates get 2. Pop up by Lambeau, and then he goes way back to make the great catch on Marte. So he covered a lot of ground in center field. We take a look at the starting lineup now for the Cardinals, brought to you by Honda. Jay will be followed by Oscar Taveras and Matt Holliday. Last couple of weeks crushing the ball. Matt Adams hits cleanup, then Johnny Peralta and Yadier Molina. Daniel Descalzo is at third base, Pete Kozma at second, and Lance Lynn on the mound. How about that, John? The shallow pop he catches and the ball hit by Lambeau. So he comes in, and here he goes back.
Yeah, what a difference. He doesn't play a real deep center field, and this is a game-changing play. That's scoring 2. Marte's probably on third base. We're still hitting. It's a 4-0 game, but John Jay, who's not a burner, he doesn't have the great speed of a lot of center fielders you see, but he's not afraid to play shallow. And again, 2 pretty good plays. The first one on Lambeau is not going to make any highlight reel, but he went a long way to make that, to get the first out of the inning. But that last one, boy, that was something special.
Garrett Cole matched up against Lance Lynn last Tuesday.
2 good starts since coming off the disabled list for Cole.
And John Jay gets up there and whacks the ball into center field.
He hit that like he was sitting on it. Gets behind 0-1 with the fastball, and Garrett Cole comes in with a breaking ball. Not a horrible pitch. He wanted it a little further away, but it's still a backdoor breaking ball. A lot of hitters give up on it. John Jay, again, looked like he knew it was coming and hits it hard up the middle.
Jay has stolen 6 bases in 7 tries. Brings up the rookie Oscar Taveras. .226 hitter. Harris has been up and down, big leagues and the minors this season. We will see Gregory Polanco return to the Pirates tomorrow. Bounce towards second. 1 and 2.
Beautiful.
So with 2 outs in the first, Pirates leading 2-0. We'll get to our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, happy Labor Day, everybody. That's the theme.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yeah, Greg. I know you've been here since 8 o'clock working very hard, and we want a good workmanlike performance from Garrett Cole. We saw him last time, the intensity, the good start here against these Cardinals, and no decision and a 5-2 win. No Holiday. Matt Holliday's on fire. He's been swinging the bat, driving in runs. 3 home runs, 9 RBIs the last 2 games against the Cubs. And we've already started on Lance Lynn and making him labor. High 20s pitch count in the first inning with the 2-0 lead.
Nice theme. Walkie-like.
You do not like themes?
I don't mind.
I just wanted to make Bob proud today.
Well, heck, I gave Bob half of them, 2/3 of them the other day. Adam Elmore and I. You'd never know that, of course. We get no credit.
Absolutely, I would not know that because I don't remember ever getting any help with my tips.
Or helps.
I just get up with the yelps.
Holiday. How's it back out of play? 6 for 15 against the Cubs. 3 home runs and 9 RBIs his last 2 games. With 78 RBIs, he's tied for 6th in the league. Close to being a strike appeal, no. 97 miles per hour. Holiday checked. 2-2.
You watch the way he uses the whole field and likes to stay inside the ball. You think that's how you got to get him. You got to come in hard with the fastball, right around belt or higher. Whew. He has an uncanny ability to take a fastball that's on the inside corner and down and stay inside it and hit it out into the right center field gap. And wastes a pretty good pitch there right on the corner, thigh high. Even if you do elevate at times, I mean, he'll still muscle it out into the outfield.
But Garrett Cole beats him. A 10-pitch first inning and a 2-0 Pirates lead.
Brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
Welcome back to St. Louis and Busch Stadium on this Labor Day. So we celebrate the American worker. Third inning, or the second inning, a 2-0 lead. The Pirates out hitting the Cardinals 3-1. And turning out, as we said, to be a solid day. The forecast wasn't so great. At least the one I saw, John.
Yeah, we're talking about thunder showers in the area.
First pitch strike.
Anytime you come here and it's under 90, you should be pleased.
Yep.
One of the hottest places on earth.
No doubt. Mercer bounces it foul. 0-2 on Jordy Mercer. Mercer homered in yesterday's game. Singled and lined out. Bounces this to the shortstop, Peralta. Peralta to Adams, one out.
Watch Peralta, big man, it doesn't look like a shortstop, not built like a shortstop. And anytime you hit a ball to his left or right, you think he's not going to be able to get over there and get it, but he seems to make all the plays.
I remember Jim Leland used to talk up Peralta when he was with the Tigers. That Peralta never got a lot of attention. Solid shortstop he was and is. Strike is called on Garrett Cole.
And he's in there every day. That's a demanding position for a pretty big body.
Cole flipping into right field for a base hit. Garrett Cole, a 1-out single.
But bat on ball, you never know. And he's a competitor, not just on the mound, but in the batter's box. We saw that from his very first big league at bat. He takes pride in everything he does and gets a fastball, gets jammed a bit. Perfectly placed.
Remember I think it was game 2, right? That pitched here. Pitched a great ball game and drove in, not the first, maybe first 2 runs.
Yeah.
Dribbled foul. Pirates would win this game 7-1, but Garrett Cole, RBI, drives in the first run. Fired up. Cole would beat Lance Lynn. The Pirates won that game 7-1. Lynn went just 4 1/3 innings that day. 5 runs, 7 hits. Josh Harrison with a base hit to start this ball game. So at this very moment, Josh Harrison. I'll have to check out Justin Morneau first before we say it.
I was thinking that a minute ago. I didn't know if they had started.
Morneau is. He's got a hit. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. And that didn't miss by a lot.
A lot more breaking balls from Lance Lynn than the last time. He saw that the Pirates were going to come out and be aggressive, and you see there on the Point Park University strike zone, that slider just off.
3-2. And bounce toward the shortstop Peralta. He will get 1, but won't get 2. Two outs brings up Lambeau. I want to see how you root for your Buccos on this Labor Day. Send us your picture via Twitter. Use the hashtag BucsFanPhoto, and we'll show them during our broadcast here this afternoon. Hashtag Bucks fan photo. Why not be our AT&T fan photo of the day? First of 3 with the Cardinals. Off day Thursday, 3 with the Cubs at Wrigley, and then next week 4 in Philadelphia. Now Josh Harrison, who has stolen 17 bases, gets back. First big league hit for Andrew Lambeau was against Lance Lynn. August the 15th, right here in St. Louis last year. The place where he made his big league debut. John, you and I were talking to Andrew before the game about that debut.
Yeah.
And about the fact that he's had to face early on in his career some tough pitchers.
Adam Wainwright, Shelby Miller, and Lance Lynn. And, they were all very good, of course, last year. I think his 4th start was against the Brewers and Kyle Loesch, right?
That's correct.
I forgot to take my notebook.
That's all right.
I didn't take
I know
notes.
you'd remember. Off speed, 1-2.
Rarely does he throw a changeup. On the year, he's thrown on average under 3% of his pitches changeups.
One and 2 on Lambeau.
Molina wants it again.
He's off this time.
And you wonder, with Molina being out, you wonder. You know, he's one of those guys. He's real good at calling games, reading swings, making adjustments in game to hitters based on what they're trying to do. And, Lynn obviously hadn't had Molina for a while, and he's thrown a ton of fastballs. Not so much here this afternoon.
Although in August without Molina, Lynn's 3-0 with a 1.99 ERA.
Yeah, very good.
3-2 now on Lambeau as he laid off the changeup away, the fastball up and in. Flied out to shallow left center field. His first AB. As we said, we expect Lambeau to be joined by some of his Indy teammates tomorrow, as many as 5 probably, including Gregory Polanco. Chase Darno might be returning to the big leagues tomorrow. Give Clint Hurdle an extra pinch run possibility. And some others might see Casey Sadler, as Neil Huntington said on his radio show yesterday, that they might want to get somebody in that could provide length if need be, and that would allow Clint Hurdle to use, say, a Brandon Compton or a Jean-Marc Gomez in shorter stints. And we might have a couple of surprises tomorrow off the mound. Here's the pitch, and it's still 3-2. Lambeau battles Lynn.
Make him work. Drive that pitch count. Lynn's thrown 44 already.
Threw 105 in 6 innings last Tuesday against the Bucks.
He is a big man. He's a horse. You get an idea that he can go deep in ball games, and 110 pitches is nothing.
And still 3-2. Fastball after fastball fouled away. Lambeau about ready to see his 9th pitch of this at bat. Well, Andrew McCutchen is on deck. I was going to say, John, does Molina feel confident enough, and Lynn confident enough to throw another off-speed pitch, that rare changeup? Saw it back-to-back. But with McCutchen on deck, keep throwing that fastball. And driven to right field, a line drive, and this ball is going to be off the top of the wall. Josh Harrison is motoring toward the plate. Here's the throw. He is safe, Andrew Lambeau rips a double off the wall and right to give the Pirates a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you keep throwing it in there, and that was a great point, Greg. What do? Who do you rather face? Do you dare throw a pitch that might be a ball to Lambeau with McCutchen on deck, or do you keep challenging him with the fastball? Well, he got challenged once again with a fastball. Molina wanted it in. It got to the inner third, not quite to the corner, and Lambeau times it up perfectly, barrels it up, and a bullet. If he gets any backspin on this, it's in the seats.
Boy, oh boy. Who knows what this season would have been like, how it would have gone as you see Harrison taking off and heading for third. You know, if Lambeau doesn't get hurt, that might have impacted Josh Harrison.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Maybe. Because Harrison, of course, took over in right field when Tabata and Snyder were ineffective. And it was about that time that the Pirates were about ready to call up Lambeau. But Lambeau got hurt. Funny how baseball works. And Lambeau could be just a big boost to this club this month.
By the way, we showed the replay of Jay Hay running around the bases. He's taking off. He hears the crack of the bat. He didn't even look. Head down, running hard all the way. There's not many guys like that. And I don't want that to go unnoticed. It's the way it's supposed to be done. But Josh Harrison does it each and every time.
Well, so it doesn't go unnoticed. Maybe we could at some point show it again. 1 ball, 1 strike on McCutchen. Now first base is open, but Walker is on deck. Here's what John's talking about. He hears the crack of the bat. Head down.
Hard all the way. And taking nothing for granted. Does take a peek there. But still, never breaking stride.
Breaking ball, and it's now a 3-1 count on McCutchen. And now Lynn and Molina are faced with the situation here with first base open. Walker, who doubled to right center field, is on deck, but McCutchen doubled in his first inning at bat. Fouls off the fastball. .51 pitches thrown by Lance Lynn. Not out of the second inning yet. High fly ball to left. Holiday will make the catch. Andrew Lambeau doubles off the right field wall. Garrett Cole got it started with a base hit. Week first matchup big in Quad North. North Allegheny Tigers host the Pine Richland Rams live Friday at 7:30 on Root Sports. Don't forget to tune in every Friday this fall. Some of the region's best high school athletes and teams battle it out in the hopes they will make their way to the WPIAL Championships. Friday nights on Root Sports. Here on Root Sports on this Labor Day, the Pirates leading the Cardinals 3-0. Andrew Lambeau ripping that double to right to drive in Josh Harrison, who had reached on that fielder's choice. It was Garrett Cole who singled off of Lance Lynn and got it going. Here's Matt Adams. Takes ball one.
You know, Garrett Cole feels good about having a 3-run lead early in the ball game.
Popped it up. Shortstop Mercer. Way up there. Battled that one, didn't he?
Yeah,
What's that like, John?
You got the high sky, the sun's shining bright, you got a little bit of a breeze, and that ball was way up there. And sometimes you sit there and you wonder, it's like, am I in the right place when this comes down? Up, I better go this way. Whoa, I was right the first time and have to go back. As Mercer goes right, then left.
Day for the sunglasses for sure, as the sun has made its way out. Breaking ball misses. Peralta. He is hitting .304 this season against Pirates pitching. His first year with the Cardinals, 18 home runs. Did he call that a strike? Appeal? Wow.
Appeal, yeah.
1-1. From here behind home plate, looked as though he checked it easily. Two and one on Peralta. Garrett Cole, 3 career regular season starts against the Cardinals. 2.25 ERA. Evens it on Peralta.
Big swing from Peralta way late. Fastball was pretty much by him.
Pops this one up. And this will go out of play. You know, John, we were talking to Neil Huntington on his radio show yesterday, as he does every Sunday, and he made an interesting point that the Pirates are the only team who have all of their 5 starters with earned run averages under 4. There are some teams who have aces whose earned run averages, maybe a couple in the rotation, have ERAs under 3. But the Pirates, he said, in that regard have been consistent. Ground ball to Harrison for the out. And as he said yesterday, you have guys like Cole and or Liriano who can be those aces. And Cole certainly considers himself that, would like to take charge as he did last September.
Well, we certainly like the consistency, and you like to have 5 reliable guys in that rotation. The Pirates certainly have. I mean, I don't know who would have predicted it with Volquez in the year he's having, or Vance Worley. Even Jeff Locke after his struggles in the second half last year. So, yeah, you like that, but you do, I think, when you get to the bullpen, you'd like to have the aces. You want those big guys to step up and pitch in the big games. Doesn't mean the other guys aren't.
Get into the playoffs.
Yeah, when you get into the playoffs. It doesn't mean the other guys that have had consistent years aren't going to be successful in the postseason, but you like to have those dominant guys like a Cole, like a Liriano.
Line drive, base hit for Yadier Molina. Molina back sooner than they had originally anticipated. Missed 40 games with that torn ligament in his right thumb, activated on Friday. He was 5 for 13 in the series against the Cubs over the weekend.
That swing there was a little bit like what I was talking about, what Matt Holliday likes to do. Molina kind of the same school. Looks to hit the fastball the other way, gets a fastball on the inside corner and pulls those hands in.
And there's a base hit for Daniel Descalso into right field. Ground single through the hole. Descalso with a 4-game hitting streak. He is giving Matt Carpenter the day off as he singles to right, 2 on with 2 outs.
And again, get that runner on first. I think it's a huge advantage for a left-handed hitter, especially a guy that likes to throw fastballs. The Pirates facing Lynn, the Cardinals facing Cole. Just gear up, get it ready, pull it hard, get a knock.
Pete Kozma getting the start again at second base, just up from AAA. Rolls to the shortstop, backhand play. Mercer's going to throw toward third, and on the money. Leading Harrison there. Harrison just does find the bag.
Well, that's a nice play again. Jordy Mercer, just sneaky good. Makes it look easy. That's a tough little play there, but for Jordy, made it look as easy as pie.
Robbie, it's Mikowski. Tony Sanchez, the latest member of the Buccos, to try his hand at first base, playing 2 games for Indy at the position. And we'll let Tony explain his experience as only Tony Sanchez can.
Take your ground balls, and it's when it's slow, the games it's easy. But then the game starts, and I'm out there like a dog playing fetch, trying to go after every ball. I got 2 rockets hit at me, and next thing you know, I'm on my knees trying to block it like a catcher. I got guys throwing me, on routine groundouts. I'm trying to frame throws from the infielder, and that's 20 years of catching. Transitioning into a first base, and it's not as easy as it looks. It's going to take more than a couple weeks of ground balls for me to. Not even perfect, but for them to even consider me an option at first base, it's going to take a little more time.
Tony Sanchez, the only guy that can put something just like that, Greg and John. The one thing he did say when he first got out there, he said he looked like a dog trying to play fetch, going after every ball when he first got out there. So it was interesting stuff. Now, Clint Hurdle did say, with the possibility of Tony Sanchez playing first with the Buccos, hey, that's going to be dictated by the game. So if circumstances deem it necessary for him to play there, don't be surprised to see him there at some point in time in September.
What did Clint say that when asked the question today, Robbie? We want a 5th first baseman. That's about where he would rank when you consider Gabby Sanchez, Ike Davis, Pedro Alvarez, Clint Barmas, Andrew Lambeau. I guess he'd be 6th on the depth chart. But as Robbie said, the game dictates it. We'll see how it plays. And funny to hear Tony Sanchez so honest about first base. Neil Walker pops this ball up to John Jay.
I think he'd actually drop to 7th. I think Brett Morrell
that's right.
over there.
He would be 7th on the depth chart. But the Pirates did have him play some first base in the minors. Talking about Tony Sanchez, so that down the road. And we saw Jonathan Lucroy play a lot of first base this year. Keeping that bat in the lineup. We saw Russell Martin play a little bit of third base last year.
Yeah.
Trying to keep that bat in the lineup. Brian Pena of the Cincinnati Reds playing some first base with
Buster
Posey. Yep. One ball, one strike to count. Speaking of Jonathan Lucroy, the Brewers trail the Cubs at Wrigley in the 3rd inning, 1-0.
That'd be a long night for the Brewers after getting spanked by the Giants.
Did they struggle in that series, huh?
Yeah, and they had to fly back east from the West Coast and get up bright and early.
Into center field, Jay back again. Makes the catch. The Brewers were outscored 31-8 in the 3-game series against the Giants. Check out the Budweiser Bow Tie Bar next time you make your way to PNC Park. Full service bar, weather protected dining space, and much more. You can bring your group, enjoy a private dining area, or stop by during the game and take in the action. For more information, call 1-800-5-BUCKS or go to pirates.com. And we want you to get to pirates.com now and reserve your tickets to the final regular season homestand of the season. It starts Friday night, September the 12th against the Cubs, 3-game weekend series, and then the 3-game interleague series against the Boston Red Sox starts Tuesday night, September the 16th. All 3 games at 7:05. Tickets available for that Red Sox series. And the regular season will conclude with a 3-game weekend series against the Milwaukee Brewers starting on September the 19th. Go to pirates.com. Reserve your tickets. It should be quite a September. Two and 1 on Ike Davis. Man has gotten the last 3 outs via the air. And you got Ike Davis to foul out in the first. Three and 1. Ike Davis helped beat the Cardinals each of the last 2 games of that series last week at PNC Park. Tuesday and Wednesday with the home runs. And he draws the walk against Lynn.
Not missing by a little bit either. Land missing by a bunch. And frustrated with himself. Heard him up here yelling after that 4th ball.
St. Louis Cardinals pitching staff, ERA of 3.66 combined, tied with the Pirates. That's 8th in the league. Two and 0. Two and 0. Marte hit that drive to center field that John Jay tracked down to end the first inning. Three and 0. John Jay out in center field. They acquired Peter Borges over the winter, figuring that Borges would play every day in center. And a strong defense, but he did not hit well enough to stay in the lineup. 3 and 1 on Marte. with 2 outs and Davis on at first.
Marte should get a good fastball to hit here. You'd think, if Lance knows where it's going. Borges.
Walked him. Back-to-back free passes. 3rd walk of the day. That brings up Jordy Mercer.
Maybe he should change his new uniform number. Lynn. At least today. 3-1. Maybe go to 1 to 12.
Good idea. Just for today.
A lot of 3-ball counts. A lot of pitches. A chance for finally a quick inning to kind of get back in there, maybe. You know, it's the 2 quick outs here in the 3rd, and then walks 2 on 10 pitches.
Jordy Mercer goes down to 1 knee. Ouch.
Yeah.
Didn't feel that great. Mercer in a little bit of pain there.
We've never seen Jordy do this. It's fastball and a little twist that right ankle, it looked like.
Gingerly gets back in that box. Oh, and 2. In the air to center. John Jay back a few steps. Still going back. The ball carries out. About 5 steps shy of the warning track. The Pirates strand a couple. Lead 3-0 after 2.5. Yesterday, Colton Wong, the second baseman for the Cardinals, go back on a pop-up, bang his head to the ground. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. He was pulled from the game and worked out today and passed all the concussion tests, but like Matheny being extra cautious, keeps him out of the lineup, at least for today. So Pete Kozma at second base this afternoon. Colton Wong, rookie second baseman. Pirates up 3-0, and here is Lance Lynn to the plate against Garrett Cole. 1 on Lynn. His third hit in 48 at-bats. Lynn is aboard. College students get up to $10 off Pirates tickets for the rest of the season. Bring your friends to cheer on the Pirates during this pennant drive. Go to pirates.com/student and see all the eligible game dates. And we also invite you to go to check out the fan vote for Free Shirt Friday, which is coming up. The game itself is September the 19th against the Brewers, but you still have a couple of days to go online and vote for your favorite t-shirt at pirates.com. Ball's hit in the air to left, and Starling Marte makes the catch. So Lynn at first, now with 1 down. And it brings up Oscar Taveras. You get a chance to vote for your favorite t-shirt. John, the last Free Shirt Friday, you got a chance to see that on the screen at all, which one you would vote for.
I did see it. Didn't study it.
All right.
Good. Very good choices. I would need to look a little longer
You
than
are
that.
being politically correct. Did you actually see them just now on the monitor?
I saw them on the monitor.
As Bob and I fibbed a little bit the other day. We were not looking at the monitor.
Can you fib a little bit? It's either a fib or it isn't a fib, Greg.
Well, I glanced. I did glance at the monitor.
There's just, I guess, maybe bigger lies than others.
Okay. Well, yours was a small one. 2-0 on Oscar Taveras. Bounced into a 4-6-3 double play in the first. Now 3-0. And Holiday on deck. Oh, a little upset with himself.
Got to get back into the count with that man on deck, swinging a very hot bat.
Walked him on 4 pitches. Two on for Matt Holliday. Holliday is hitting .338 with runners in scoring position. That's the 4th highest batting average in the league. I know we talked about it when the Cardinals were in town last week. They have gotten a ton of 2-out RBIs. 220 to be exact. 222 out ribbies. That's the most in the National League and second in the majors behind the Oakland A's. Just foul. Barely fouls. It dribbled past first.
Yeah, that would have been a big one. That would have easily scored Lynn from second. You wonder if there's a hard hit base hit if Lynn can score the pitcher, but that ball had some English. You can see that the first hop was in fair territory. A little cue shot right off the end of the bat.
Toward right center field. Extra bases for Holliday. Lynn scores. Taveras will be waived. He will score. It's a 2-run double for Holliday. It's a 3-2 game.
Yeah, he's the guy you do not want up there with runners on base, period. He's found his home run stroke. 10 since the All-Star break. Only had 6 up to the middle of July. And the fastball, again, down and in.
Saying.
And then if it's down below the belt, he has that ability to pull his hands in and hit it into the gap the other way. A lot of hitters try to pull it. They hit a ground ball. You turn 2.
It was 99 miles an hour. Now Matt Adams.
That one swing gets him right back in the ball game. You know, Cole probably kicking himself, giving up that base hit to Lynn, and then the 4-pitch walk before maybe the hottest hitter in the game.
Oh, 1-2 on Matt Adams. Adams popped up to Jordy Mercer in the second. Month of August for Matt Adams. Just 1 homer and 10 RBIs. He's glad the calendar turned to September. Wow, 4 for his last 34 at bats.
Tell Cole not happy and wanting to shut this inning down. He rears back, just goes right at him, elevates the fastball in on the hands. There's not much you could do about that one, but take it.
Ball 1 on Johnny Peralta. One ball, 1 strike. Peralta has driven in 63 this season. It's his first year with St. Louis.
Hot too, this homestand. 6 for 12 after grounding out in the second.
Two balls and a strike on Peralta. Three and 1. Molina on deck. One on Peralta.
I saw Cole as he was looking in on that sign. You know, like Russell put the sign down and then he stopped, and Cole was still kind of staring in there. And I was wondering if he was lacking conviction on whatever was called, but now it kind of makes sense. He put on the inside move.
Full count. Cardinals signed Peralta to a 4-year, $53 million deal over the winter. Raised some eyebrows because, of course, he was suspended for PED use last year. Still went to the playoffs with the Tigers, which really infuriated a lot of people, and that's why they instituted this year the new Peralta rule. If you're suspended in the season, you cannot play in the postseason. He walked him. Second walk of the inning. Molina will be the 7th man to hit here in the third. All started with that ground single off the bat of the pitcher Lance Lynn. Both pitchers helping their cause as Cole singled in the second.
And this is a scary hitter.
Chop towards short. On to second for the force. Matt Holliday's 2-run double gets the Cards to within 1.
This road trip, and the theme was football jerseys, and Josh Harrison, being from Cincinnati, Ohio, of course, wearing Cleveland Browns jersey. Makes sense of that one with the tweet and doing the money pose that Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel does. And he took a little bit of heat of it from Pirate fans for wearing a Browns jersey. John Axford took another photo as well. Axford wearing a Bengals jersey with nice funny caption there. They're both CFL jerseys, right? So I asked Josh about wearing the jersey. He said, look, by no means do I mean to offend any Steeler fans, nor am I a big Johnny Manziel fan. I'm a fan of football, and I have a lot of different jerseys. Now, he did clue me into one thing. He has some up his sleeve, and he told me what he's going to do, but I was sworn to secrecy. I can't tell you, Greg and John, right now. But he's got another one he's going to wear with another football player with a pose that's going to happen on Wednesday when the team flies from St. Louis to Chicago. And he's got another one for the final leg of the trip. So he's just a big football fan, so you'll be seeing him wear other things. And he told me to say absolutely no offense was meant with him wearing a Browns player's jersey at all. I promise you.
It's kind of hard to believe that people would actually take offense. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It just tells you what to offend anybody by wearing that. He's just having some fun. And somebody would take offense to that is incredible.
If one Steeler fan left Pittsburgh and say moved to Cleveland or Cincinnati and they wore a Steelers jersey, would that be offensive to the people in Cincy and Cleveland? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. What are you supposed to change the team you grew up rooting for, or whatever the case may be? Not, you know, it's kind of confusing. He's wearing a Cleveland jersey. He's from Cincy. Cincy, a Bengal jersey would make more sense. But you know, if I went to work in, I don't know,
San Francisco,
Des Moines, Iowa, or somewhere like that, I'd be fine with wearing a Steeler jersey.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, I don't know where I'm not working anywhere but Pittsburgh. But if I had to go somewhere else, I'd have no problem with. I mean, I'm
still wear the Steelers jersey at any other town.
Yeah. I'm not going to quit being a Steeler fan or a Pirate fan or a Penguin fan.
Garrett Cole down on strikes.
It is. It's silly to get offended by it.
It really is. It's absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Jay Hay will step to the plate. 1 for 2 with a couple of runs scored. Lance Lynn gave up a 2-run double to Neil Walker in the first. Andrew Lambeau's double in the second scored Harrison. We'll be going back to the studio in a moment for a game break. Rob King. About what's happening in Atlanta. Cole Hamels into the bottom of the 7th inning, pitching a no-hitter against the Braves.
He will not complete that game.
How many pitches?
I think 108 through 6. Or 106, 108, something like that.
Like Garrett Cole, his last time out against these Cardinals, he was no-hitting the Redbirds with 2 outs into the 6th inning. Clint Hurdle told us the next day that Cole was done after 115 pitches, and he had already reached 90 plus in that 6th inning. And there he goes again.
Go ahead.
Harrison headed to second. He is there with a double. Josh Baseball.
It's amazing.
With a 2-hit day and another double for Jay Hay.
Yeah, and yeah, he just continues to do it. It's a fastball. It's up. He's already seen a couple pitches in that same general area, but Jay Hay turns it around, and you get a feeling when he makes any outfielder move left or right, he's not stopping.
His 31st double of the season. Check swing, and that ball will just die on the mud in front of the plate, but dropped, and here comes Harrison for the plate. He is going to be out, but wait a minute. Did Molina give him a lane?
Yeah, that's a.
Did Molina give him a lane?
Here comes Clint.
Ball dropped at first base. Heads up play by Cosma backing up. Harrison breaks for the plate. Clint Hurdle looking toward his dugout to see if they want to challenge it. They're convinced that they don't need to ask about the running lane, so apparently Pirates believe that Molina didn't violate that. They were checking to see if he actually did apply the tag on Harrison, and they believe he did.
Yeah, that's again, Jay Hay always going hard, always doing whatever he can. First of all, a great play by the second baseman, Cosma. You won't see many second basemen go over there and back up like that, and for him to go there, but with 1 out, you don't want to make that play, especially McCutchen on deck. You don't want to make that second out at home. If you have 2 outs, maybe it's worth the risk of trying to sneak in and score. But with just the 1 out, unless you're certain, you might want to put the brakes on.
Pete Cosma. The error charge to Adams, allowing Lambeau to reach, but then Cosma throws out Harrison 4-2 at the plate.
That's a big break. That's a big break for the Cardinals there. That's you're up here first and third, 1 out with McCutchen. Lynn already at 83 pitches.
And McCutchen goes down swinging. He'll be coming back with a game break for the studio. 3-2 Pirates. has 2 hits and has scored twice, doubled with 1 out in the 4th, and then tried to score when the ball got away from Matt Adams but was thrown out by Pete Kozma. See if Garrett Cole can have a clean inning here. 7 men came to the plate in the 3rd. They scored twice, the double by Holiday. Now he faces the bottom 3rd of the order. He falls behind Descalso, 2-0. Another look at the play at the plate. Lena tagging Harrison on the arm. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Fly ball to Marte. For the out. Brings up Pete Kozma. Let's go back to Rob King. Another game break. Well, thank you, Rob. John, you were right.
Yeah, I mean, I think ever since Irvin Santana,
Johan Santana
in New York.
Yep.
And
Terry Collins kept him in.
The injury he had.
Collins said it was the most excruciating decision he'd ever had to make, and he stayed with Santana, allowing him to get that no-hitter.
I think it's it's just dangerous territory. And Hamill, he's never. Has he ever had a no-hitter? I don't think so. And I think it's a smart thing to do. I mean, you're going to let him go out there for 3 more innings, throw another 45 pitches, throw 150.
Silly.
Yeah, so.
Ball bounced foul out of Kozma. One ball, 2 strikes the count. So as we said earlier, Garrett Cole was not going to get a no-hitter last week either, as Glenn Hurdle had determined he was going to let him go 115 pitches. He gets Kozma. 2 outs. Labor Day sale. Save 50% and get MLB.com at-bat premium features for only $4.99. Follow every Pirates game with live look-ins, replay reviews, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store. Sale ends soon. Visit pirates.com/mobile today. Lynn with that ground single to right field to start last inning. A fly ball to center field, sending McCutchen back. Nearing the wall. McCutchen reaches up to make the play.
Scary.
Lance Lynn. But it's 1-2-3.
on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Sonic and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
3-2 Pirates. Lance Lynn back to the mound after sending Andrew McCutchen back to the wall to end the bottom of the fourth inning. Lynn will be facing Neil Walker. Here's Andrew McCutchen from the front row beyond the center field wall. A neat look. Lance Lynn flirting with his first home run. Now back to work. Walker, Martin, and Davis facing this veteran righty. Marion County, Indiana. The man from Pittsburgh steps to the plate. Garrett Cole somewhere in there. See his eyes. Strike one on Walker.
Lynn, not a good hitter. You got to wonder what he was going through. What was going through his mind once he hit that ball, whether he thought he got it enough. No career homers. 058 hitter. Career.
That was his 11th career hit earlier. Saw Adam Wainwright as we were going to the break. He thought it was gone.
Yeah, the flags are kind of laying limp. If he had that little breeze. Yeah. Thank goodness he didn't.
Cosma takes care of Walker. Lance Lynn at 86 pitches now. He really had to work those first two innings, and even though he walked back-to-back Pirates in the third, he has put up zeros in consecutive frames. This is Russell Martin, who's walked and flied out. It will be interesting to see how much Clint Hurdle plays Russell Martin down this final stretch. Another afternoon game on Wednesday, but he played Martin back-to-back day games after night games recently. And with the off day Thursday, possibility that we'll see Russell Martin catch all three games. After Thursday, 10 straight games for the Pirates, then an off day at home on Monday the 15th. And that will be the last off day of the regular season. Garrett Cole has allowed the 2 runs on 5 hits.
That's a tough place to play, you know, on a daily basis. And Molina doesn't get many days off, and with the heat and humidity here. And obviously, like you mentioned, Russell Martin, 2 days here in St. Louis. It's supposed to be right around 90, maybe a little warmer. Then you wonder day games if it's any more taxing on these guys. Getting up there a little bit age-wise. I think the night games, they'd be a little more limber, a little more loose.
Russell Martin, 31 years old. Molina turned 32 in July, and there's an opposite field single for Martin. One out base runner. We invite you to host your next special event at PNC Park. Perfect place for corporate outings, weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, and more. Catering options available in the Lexus Club, the Pittsburgh Baseball Club, or the Rivertown Brewing Hall of Fame Club. And to take a 360-degree virtual tour of all the event spaces, go to pirates.com/PNC Park Events. Davis has fouled out and walked. I imagine Paul Dacey will be part of your event if you schedule it at the Lexus Club. Our man Paul.
Big E.
The Big Easy. Yep, the Big E. Was vacationing in New Orleans. Call him Big Easy. Paul Dacey, the head bartender at the Lexus Club.
Glad you brought that up, actually. Every time I go down there and see him, he gives me the business because I forget to say hello, or I'm really bad like that.
What, you have to say hello to him all the time?
Once a year, and I always forget.
I think we make up for it.
Probably so.
We take care of you. But he takes care of us.
Yes, he does.
No question. 2-0 on Mike Davis. Now at 95 pitches for Lance Lynn.
Let's see if we get a fastball to drive here, hit a gap. Chase Martin around the bases.
3-0 on Mike Davis.
Ike looked down at Nick Leyva. Nick Leyva kind of looked away. Usually when there's no sign, that's green light.
Davis throws ball 4. It's 3-1.
Yeah, this is like an old school 3-0 pitch, or anything close is called a strike. A little bit off the plate. Point Park University strike zone shows. Ike, we'll see another pitch.
Martin a little bluff start at first base, and then strike 2. Martin on base for the second time this afternoon. Davis hitting .290 this season against Redbirds pitching. Pops it up the other way. Holiday with a little bit of room. Second out. Davis probably still not happy that that 3-0 pitch was called a strike. He says something toward Bill Welke. His reaction as he pops up that 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, and the reason being, okay, so 3-0, they call the 3-0 pitch, it's off the plate, or Bill Welke does a strike. And so now you get in the count 3-2, you're afraid to take that same pitch. Even though it's a ball, you know it's off the plate, you have to protect. And obviously, pops up, couldn't do much with it.
Marte takes the breaking ball. Ball 1. Big play made by John Jay in the first inning on the Marte drive with 2 on and 2 outs. Marte walked in the third.
Another slider, 101 pitches. Again, talked about it early on. Did not throw many off-speed pitches his last start against the Pirates, but many, many more here.
Fastball fouled away, 1-2. As he is over the 100 pitch mark, the bullpen starts to crank it up. Evan Segrist.
And still a big, strong man throwing hard, 94 miles per hour that last fastball.
Line to center field. Here comes Jay, but it's going to drop in front of him. 2 on. Pirates Pirates have certainly made Lance Lynn work. Even though they've scored just the 3 runs, they've had action on the bases in each of the 5 innings.
And good job by Marte protecting the pitch off the plate away, able to get out there and get to it, hit it off the end of the bat so it falls in front of Jay. 3 good at bats for Marte.
Mercer looking to have a good solid at bat here. He has bounced to short and flied to center. He was excellent in these situations last year. This season batting only .213 with men in scoring position. Coming off a solid August, hit .284. Fly ball to Holiday. Pirates strand 2 more. They've left 8, but lead 3-2.
In his last, say, 15 hours or so, he, along with 2 other umpires, the third base umpire Paul Emmel and first base umpire James Hoy, worked the national TV game last night, Cleveland at Kansas City. The game went 3 hours and 15 minutes before they waited for 58 minutes in a delay, only to have the game suspended. Now, luckily, they were able to drive from Kansas City here to St. Louis. It's about 3.5, 4-hour drive to get here. But the game was called about 11:45. So when you look at the time it takes them to shower and change and get on the road, you're looking at around the 3:30, 4 a.m. arrival time, maybe even later by the time those guys got to bed last night. And how about this? It's 90 and sunny right now. Last night it was 90 and sunny in Kansas City when the ball game started. So props go to those guys for toughing one out.
Boy, that is tough. Umpires have put in a lot of hours, a lot of miles.
Wider strike zone, maybe understandable.
Yeah. You'd have one too if you worked last night's game.
They don't have an easy job.
Nope. Phil Welke, his brother Tim, also a major league umpire. John Jay takes ball 2. He has singled and flied to left. Top of the order, and a big inning it is for Garrett Cole and the Pirates. Jay, Taveras, and Holiday. Falls behind John Jay, 3-1. Jay has a 5-game hitting streak going. Hit .382 in August. Takes ball 4. Leadoff walk.
3-1 breaking ball. Cole.
Pirates actually have held John Jay in check for the most part this season. He is a .316 career hitter against Pittsburgh. .240 hitter this season against the Pirates. But Cole walks him. And Oscar Taveras also drew a free pass in the third inning. But in his first time up, Cole got him to bounce into a double play. Another tight game for these Pirates against their rivals, the Cardinals, going back to 2011. They are very evenly matched. The Pirates have won 33 regular season games, the Cardinals 33. Strike on Taveras.
It's pretty amazing, really. I mean, obviously the Cardinals have had some pretty good teams over the last several years.
Averaging about the same amount of runs per game in this head-to-head competition since the 2011 season. In the air to left. Marte trying to hang with it, and does. Toward the wall and left. Taveras is retired. Now we'll have this matchup. Garrett Cole against Matt Holliday. Holliday has struck out and doubled in a pair of runs.
Big at bat of the day, and that double off the hardest fastball from Cole this afternoon at 99 miles per hour.
He's hit into 18 double plays, the most on his team. Now with 80 RBIs, Matt Holliday. Holliday now 34 years old. Oh, and 2. Last year drove in 94 runs.
Good hard slider there. Good location, and so you either want to stay there, stay off the plate, have a pitch break off, down, or elevate with the fastball. But obviously you're head 0-2. You got pitches to waste.
Combined no-hitter still intact in Atlanta. Line to the shortstop, on to first, and the throw is high. Davis has to go up and get it. Jay probably would have gotten back anyway. Mercer's throw high and a bit late.
Still Holliday, my goodness, everything he's hitting hard. 0-2 pitch, able to go down and hit it right on the button. A lot of times that crossover would be enough. Bang bang on a good throw, but yeah, that's going down and getting it. I think that's what makes Holliday so good. At times, 2 strikes, shut it down, look for something soft.
He has been one of the most consistent hitters over the last almost decade. Back to his days with the Rockies. 2 outs, a man on. Matt Adams. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Holliday won the batting title back in 2007 while playing for Clint Hurdle and the Rockies. At .340 that year. He's back there somewhere. 2-1. Moves the feet, as they say, with that fastball.
Russell Martin. Corral it. Keep the runner Jay at first.
Runner goes on the 2-1. Throw down is going to be right on the money. The sniper returns. Russell Martin.
Had to be right on the money. Quick release, strong throw, very accurate.
Mike Matheny is going to go out and buy some time, figuring that they will take a look at it. While he does that, we will as well.
Yeah, there's no question he's out.
Oh, that'll do it. The caught stealing. Nails John Jay with the perfect strike from Russell Martin. 2-6. Heading to the 6th inning, John Jay, his latest victim. Garrett Cole looking all the way at a strike. He has singled and struck out against Lance Lynn. Figures to have a short leash. Now 106 pitches thrown. Lefty Segrist back up again.
I'm a little surprised he's still in there. I mean, he is a big, strong guy, a horse, and you figure he might get 115, 120, but when you throw that many pitches over 5 innings, it's a little different than throwing that many pitches over 7. Obviously, a much greater workload, averaging over 20 pitches per inning.
Now, you pointed out he earlier this season threw 126 pitches back in May against the Yankees. That was his complete game 5-hit shutout. He gets Cole. Third strikeout for Lynn. That brings up Josh Harrison, who has a couple of hits. 18th NT fan photo. On this Labor Day, we have a shot from the beach. The Jolly Roger. Thanks to John for tweeting us that Bucks fan photo. Our AT&T fan photo of the day. Pirates have flown the colors a lot at PNC Park. Having won 44 games in their home yard, the most of any team in the National League and the second in all of baseball. They will definitely have to be better on the road this final month of September. Pirates are 10 games under .500 away from PNC Park. As Clint Hurdle pointed out, if you take a look, especially that last road trip, which included the 7-game losing streak, there were games the Pirates very well could have, and some would say should have won. The other way, and Taveras for the second out. Bring up Andrew Lambeau. 17 of the final 26 games for the Pirates will be on the road. We're hoping to improve the Pirates' day game numbers as well this season.
Yeah, part of that Sundays. Struggling on Sundays as well. As Pirates went winless on Sunday in August. 0-5.
A lot of day games this week. 5 of the 6 games today, Wednesday afternoon, and then all 3 against the Cubs. Lambeau's 4th at bat. Tap this to the right side. Lynn a little bit late getting over, but won't matter as Adams will keep it himself. And a 9-pitch 6th inning, and the first time Lynn has retired the side in order. Great shots once again from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mode to the sounds of A Day to Remember. They are going to be performing at Stage AE this Thursday. Clint Hurdle's Bucks taking on these Cardinals. First of a 3-game series. Garrett Cole pitching now into the 6th inning. Matt Adams was at the plate when Jay was thrown out by Russell Martin trying to steal. The Cubs are leading Milwaukee 3-0. That game is in the 6th. The Cardinals and Brewers started the day tied atop the Central, 2 up on Pittsburgh. In the air toward left. Marte for the out.
Certainly hope that these scores hold up. The score here in St. Louis and that in Chicago. Could get much tighter than that.
Oh,
3 teams within a game.
Philadelphia leading Atlanta is a help too if you're looking at the wild card. Obviously, your first priority is to win that division. Once again, 2 wild card teams will play a 1-game playoff. Pirates met the Reds last year at PNC Park. won that game October the 1st, played these Cardinals 5 games, best of 5 series, took 5. The Cardinals won it, went on to the World Series as they won the NLCS. Now Peralta in the air to right, and Lambeau under it. And 2 down. This is how tight it is. The standings in the Central. If the Brewers lose to the Cubs and the Pirates hold on, they'll be just a game back of the top two teams in the division. And you see the Pirates' wild card chances can leapfrog the Braves. Clint Hurdle said he doesn't pay attention to the out-of-town scores. 0-2 on Yadier Molina. Says he can't control that.
Doesn't mean he doesn't root against him.
Yeah. Roller to the right side. And Garrett Cole has a 7-pitch inning. On to the 7th inning. It's another tight one.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Lance Lynn finished after 6 innings of work. Gave up the 3 runs. Looked like it was going to be much worse after Lambeau doubled in the 2nd to drive in the 3rd run of the game. And you see what Garrett Cole has done alongside Lance Lynn. Cole still in the game.
Much more efficient, 38 fewer pitches. Lynn, you got to tip your cap. I mean, after the sluggish start, he kept the Bucks to 3. Was able to pitch out of a number of jams.
Numbers for Segrist. Falls behind Andrew McCutchen, 2-1. McCutchen doubled and scored in the 1st, flied out his 2nd at bat, struck out in the 4th. Now facing the Buffalo, New York native Kevin Segrist.
Fastball missing in at 94. See if he comes back with a fastball. See if Andrew can get something he can pull in the air.
On cue, clear the deck, cannonball coming. Up, up, and away. Big Mac territory. And McCutchen gives the Pirates a 4-2 lead.
McCutchen, that is a bullet. And again, a great fastball hitter and a good fastball count. 3-1. He gets one up out over the plate and does not miss it. That's a big insurance run.
4-2, his 21st of the season. A no-doubter for Andrew McCutchen. We'll run the gauntlet through the S chance.
Yeah, you know, he's sitting dead red fastball. That's up. Inner third of the plate, and that bat speed, boy. Second to none.
Segrist has given up home runs in each of his last 3 outings. Another look. Second deck.
Andrew McCutchen.
Two and one on Neil Walker.
Remember Stan Clyburn?
Yes.
Played in Buffalo. He was my first manager, and back then, you know, short season A-ball. Typically after the games, you just had what the park had left over hot dogs, burgers, or whatever, and then every now and again Stan would say, not eating at the ballpark, not going to eat good tonight. We're going to go to McDonald's. So we got a treat like twice a month.
A real treat with some 454 feet. The home run to give the Pirates the 2-run lead.
I'm not sure that ball was on its way down. That thing was out there in a hurry.
After giving up the home run, he walks Neil Walker. Segrist really struggling of late. He's given up runs in each of his last 3 outings. The home runs we mentioned.
Yeah, I want to say we got about $6 if there was a commuter trip for meal money. And the hot dogs were only, I think, a quarter a piece after the game. I think the burgers were 50 cents each.
That's a treat.
It's like, what do you mean we're not eating at the ballpark? It could cost me money.
Well, so Martin fouls it out of play. Oh, 0-2 on Martin, who has walked, flied out, and singled. Andrew McCutchen's 21st home run of the season. Gives him 72 RBIs, 2 hits. One ball, 2 strikes to count. Segrist has given up at least a run in 5 of his last 7 outings.
It's crazy. 3 straight outings with a home run.
Yeah.
He's only allowed 5 all year.
Walker on base for the 2nd time. Seth Venus loosens in the bullpen now. Abby Sanchez out on deck to pinch hit for Davis. Top of the 7th in Chicago. Cubs still blanking the Brewers 3-0. 9th inning in Atlanta. Phillies up 7-zip. gets Russell Martin.
Russ didn't like the first strike called on him. Thought it was up, and then this little backdoor breaking ball. See, it's in the UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone.
Gabby Sanchez announced as the pinch hitter. Here comes Mike Matheny. He's going to go to the righty. Zegras gives up the home run to McCutchen, walks Neil Walker, and strikes out Russell Martin. From Vernon Law, Bill Verdon, Dick Grote, and the man himself, Bill Mazeroski. 1960 World Series Game 7. Maz makes history Wednesday at 7 on Root Sports Classics. Across the street in Ballpark Village, they are watching the action here.
Game over in Atlanta, Greg.
All right, so that's good news for the Pirates. Another team that they are chasing has lost.
Braves no hit.
They are no hit, huh?
Yep.
Combined no hitter.
You know what else just happened? Adam Dunn hit a homer in his first.
Oh, get out for Oakland.
Yep.
Runner goes, pitch out. Yeah, that's a no contest. Molina to Cosma. Walker caught stealing.
And you wonder, what do they know?
They obviously knew.
You know, how do they know? And Gabby still trying to protect it, even though the ball's in the left-handed batter's box. And it's not like there's very many times that the Pirates hit and run. How do they know? They got something, obviously.
Yep. They saw the signs. Oh, 0-2 on Gabby Sanchez. By the way, that home run that McCutchen hit, it's the second longest home run by an opposing hitter ever here at the new Busch Stadium, which opened in 2006. Paul Goldschmidt had the longest, 6'3". Goldschmidt's went 456. Andrew McCutchen's traveled 454 feet. His 21st home run matches his total from last year and gives the Pirates a 4-2 lead in the 7th. News was real good. Second half not so good, but the Cubs still leading it thanks to Rob King. Gabby Sanchez stays in the game at first base. Daniel Descalso has become the first Cardinal ever to play 4 different positions, 4 straight games. Descalso has played in the last 4 games second, short, first, and today third base. Seven, 8, 9 in the order. Got him. Garrett Cole strikes out Descalso looking. After he had the 1-2-3. 6th inning. He has faced the minimum now. 3 straight innings.
That's a perfect fastball in a great location. Starts it off, gets a little tail, catches the inside corner. Descalso can't believe it.
Strike on Pete Kozma. 0 for 2. Just the 4th strikeout for Cole, but he mentioned after his last start that as excited as he was that he has been pitching as well as he has. He'd like to be more efficient, and he's accomplished that goal. 82 pitches thrown. Mr. Kozma 2-1. Colton Wong is on deck. Three and 1.
Cole and Martin wanted that one. Just a bit down.
To left field, a base hit. Marte over quickly. And again, Marte holds an opposing hitter to a single.
Yeah, that's pretty good right there. That not only does he get over there quickly, cuts it off, backhands it. Perfect straight to second base. Kozma running hard all the way, thought about it, had the big turn. He's thinking double all the way. Probably a little surprised after he came around first base to see Marte chucking this ball in already.
Outstanding work from Marte. And here's Colton Wong. Talked about the and showed you a near concussion that forced him to leave the game yesterday. Went through the test today and they cleared him but didn't start. The rookie Colton Wong hit a walk-off home run here against the Pirates on July the 8th. Hit it off Ernesto Frieri with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th to give the Cardinals a 5-4 victory.
And that was a situation where he was looking to do one thing. He's looking for something middle in the pull. He got it. And so, you know, I'd be surprised if he saw anything good to hit in.
96. Again, Wong goes down hard. So went through the tests today and they cleared him. All surprised that no one loosening in the Pirates bullpen. Thought after that base hit by Kozma we might see it, even though he's been extremely efficient.
Yeah, typically that's what you get late in the ball game and you get a base runner. You normally see somebody up, but you know, Maybe if a second guy gets on, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we get Wong here.
How about a ground ball?
That'd be awesome.
Drive to right. Colton Wong has tied this game. A pinch hit home run for Colton Wong, and it's tied at 4. His 11th. It's the 9th allowed by Cole this season.
Yeah, that's sweet pitch. 1-2. That's a shame because Garrett Cole has been outstanding here this afternoon, but that's what you're looking to do.
You're getting this late in the game.
That's what you don't want to do, is give a guy a pitch that he can hit out of the ballpark. And
something happening here in the dugout. Looked as though the Pirates were going to come out and maybe check and see. Are they checking with the replay? Any reason why?
Maybe somebody missed the back. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Clint Hurdle looked like he was going to take. It was either going to be Hurdle or Ray Searage. Searage is going to buy the bullpen some time, and Clint Hurdle was looking toward the dugout to see if Jeff Bannister, who was checking with the Pirates clubhouse. They were watching the replay.
You know, and this is a thing, and I know pitchers have their strengths and everything else like this, and I asked Bob and Tim in the post game in yesterday's game, and the percentages and playing percentages, and late in the game we'll play no doubles. We'd rather have the team get 3 hits and score as opposed to giving up a double. And so the old adage was, you go back a ways. When the tying runs at the plate or the go-ahead run at the plate, you don't give them a pitch they can hit out of the ballpark. If they're going to hit a ball out of the ballpark, make them hit it out the opposite way. And with Hughes, we all know his bread and butter is the sinker, and he throws it down and in the righties, and usually he gets ground balls. Well, obviously Heisey hits it out yesterday, and it's the same kind of situation here. Do you want to give Wong a pitch that he can pull out of the ballpark, or do you want to stay away and if he slaps it the other way, fine.
1 ball, 1 strike on John Jay.
I'm pretty certain that's not where Cole wanted to throw that pitch ahead to count 1 and 2. I mean, it's thigh high, inner third.
Pinch hit home run for Colton Wong to tie it up. Wong, who hit the walk-off against the Pirates back in July. Now, John Axford. Justin Wilson loosen. Check swing roller foul. The other way, and a base hit, and bangs past Starling Marte. Jay's going to have at least 2. He's thinking 3. Here's the throw. It's cut off, and it's a triple for John Jay.
That ball may have been a little offline. Not sure if that ball goes through. I think we get Jay at third base. Marte was playing him over that way, and he was trying to cut it off. Obviously, it goes up, hits the railing above the padding, gets by Marte, and this throw in. You see where Jay was as that ball was coming in. Marte now hobbled, like an ankle.
That's it for Garrett Cole. Just like that, not only have the Cardinals tied it, but they have a runner at third with just one out here in the 7th inning.
Party of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Garrett Cole, at least a no decision, and could be tagged with the loss. All of a sudden, after he struck out, Descalzo looking, gave up the opposite field hit to Cosma. I'm sorry, the line single left, pulled by Cosma, and then the home run by Colton Wong as a pinch hitter to tie it. John Jay bounces a triple into the corner, and now John Axford, who spent the end of last year with the Cardinals, makes his 6th Pirate appearance. Infield is in with Oscar Taveras at the plate. These Cardinals came back from a 5-0 deficit yesterday to beat the Chicago Cubs. Down by a couple here in the 7th inning. They've tied it.
Tavares does not strike out a lot. That'd be nice to get one here. Nice pick there from Russell Martin. I mean, that's not easy to do at 95 miles per hour. You don't have enough time to get out there and block that pitch, and you just hope to pick it. And fortunately, that ball comes up clean and goes right into Russell Martin's glove. At this stage in the game, that batter's box is pretty chewed up. The ball can hit in a little rut or a hole and bounce anywhere. And the Pirates very lucky that Russell was able to come up with that one.
Ball's behind Taveras, 3-0.
And you wonder, do they dare give Taveras the green light here? With Holiday behind them, a guy that hits into a lot of double plays, and with the 2-0 breaking ball, maybe Axford throw the 2-0 breaking ball because he missed so badly with the fastball the previous pitch, but one right in there. Got to figure Taveras swinging here if he gets a strike. Hopefully it's something right at an infielder.
Another block, and it's a walk, and the dangerous Holiday will come to the plate.
And another breaking ball. A hard slider there, 3-1.
Two-run double for Holiday in the third. John Axford facing his former teammate. Holiday 4 for 14 lifetime versus Axford. It's a .286 average. He does hit into his fair share of double plays. His two-run double came with 2 outs in the third. Now we got a pinch runner for Taveras, Peter Borges.
Now that's one way to take the double play out of it. Now you send him, and no matter how hard Holiday hits a ball at somebody, you're not going to have a chance to turn in a double play.
One and 0. 2 balls, no strikes.
And, Axford fairly deliberate to the plate. Surprised Borges staying put.
On Matt Holiday. Matt Adams on deck. Justin Wilson is ready in the Pirates bullpen. Takes a strike, 3-1. Axford gets the call here.
I don't see why Holiday would be upset. He probably, as hot as he is, you'd think he'd want it to be a strike. He wants a pitch. You'd think he'd want to be up in this situation.
Bounce left side and through, and the Cardinals take the lead 5-4. Holiday singles through the left side of the infield. Cardinals lead it 5-4. A 3-run 7th inning.
Yeah, Axford, it's hard to go. He tried to get in the chase, the slider, no go. Another slider, still not chasing. The fastball misses off. Call on the inside corner, then right down the middle. Yeah, you kind of hope that he hits that ground ball at somebody. You turn 2, but he finds the hole.
That is it for Justin Wilson. He walks a man, gives up for Axford, and now Justin Wilson will be coming on to replace Axford. They had the 4-2 lead. McCutchen had just hit the big home run, but the Cardinals get up off the deck here after Cole struck out Descalso to start the inning. A base hit, a home run, a triple. Axford came on, walked Taveras. Holiday singled. Now Justin Wilson.
Hopefully keep it a one-run ball game and hope to rally right back. Wilson's 4.30 the ERA. Will face Adams. Holiday, that guy is the one guy you don't want to beat you here, and 3 of the 5 RBIs.
Adams 0 for 3 against Cole, who is on the hook. Cole gives up 5 runs in 6 1/3. In on him, rolled. They will get 1. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think if you flip it to second, you still get him. Adams doesn't run that well.
Wow.
And that's good base running there for Matt Holliday.
They just get 1.
We'll see where Adams is. Adams not halfway to the first base when Neal catches that. And now not a real hard hit ball. It may have been a bang bang play at first base. Who knows? But again, tip your cap to Holiday.
Now Johnny Peralta. Pops it out of play. Carlos Martinez loosening in the bullpen for St. Louis. Center field, McCutchen coming in and makes the catch. Peralta lines out 8 men to the plate. The Cardinals rally, score 3 to take a 5-4 lead. Nastia Lukin tries her arm out in baseball. Starling Marte breaks out at the plate at just the right time. And much more inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Today after postgame on Root Sports. Well, Marte will be leading off. Matt Holliday has driven in 3 runs. 2-run double in the 3rd. RBI single in the bottom of the 7th to give the Cardinals the lead. And now hard-throwing righty Carlos Martinez.
Very tough to hit out of the bullpen. He runs it up there. Triple digits. 44th game, 2-4 record. Borges stays in the game. He's out in center.
John Jay moves from center field to right field. Ball 1 on Starling Marte. He has flied out, walked, and singled. Think about some of the big plays in a 1-run game. You always do that. Go back to the 1st inning and John Jay's catch at the drive by Marte. Josh Harrison thrown out at the plate in the 4th inning. Still 2 more shots. And ball 2, 2-0, and right away Molina goes out to talk to his pitcher.
Bad news out of Colorado. The Giants and Rockies resume a suspended game. The Giants just took the lead.
What about that Brewers game? Is there any good news there?
A little bit. Cubs inch forward. Up by 2 now. Good rip. Marte so much better after the injury. 333 since coming off the disabled list. 255 beforehand.
3 balls and a strike on Starling Marte as the Pirates now try to rally.
Maybe helped them a bit. Borderline pitch. Good location from Martinez. 3-1 fastball. Keep it down and away.
Walked him to start things here in the 8th. That'll bring up Jordy Mercer. Mercer 0 for 3. And look down at third base coach Nick Levis, see if something might be up. Pirates going to try maybe advance Marte. Under normal circumstances, you think Marte, who loves to run, would maybe attempt a steal, but you've got Molina back there. He is squaring. Wants it foul.
Two lefties on the bench, both ailing. And so the pitcher spot is due up next. You got Snyder and Alvarez. Snyder is on deck.
Earlier today, Clint Hurdle said that Snyder was getting close, but Alvarez was not as close. And he bunts it foul. He's asked to bunt. And Mercer not able to do it. Well, now 2 strikes. They send Marte anyway. We'll see with 2 strikes. One and 2.
Now the bunt off Jordy. See if he can find a hole.
Pirates saw Carlos Martinez last week. Pitched a couple of scoreless innings against the Pirates.
Get through.
It will. Better than a bunt. A base hit puts runners at first and second. Obviously a double play ball if it finds Descalso or Peralta, but now 2 on, nobody out. And does Travis Snider bunt?
You'd almost have to think so, as Mercer just protecting. He goes out after that slider. It didn't get it down and away enough for Molina. Martinez, that 1-2 slider stays in the strike zone, and Mercer finds a hole. And my guess is Snider will drop down a bunt.
Third baseman Descalso already creeping in. First baseman Adams playing in front of Mercer. They're expecting Snider to bunt. He's not. He takes ball 1. Towards center field. This ball is going to be caught by Borges.
Interesting. Very interesting right there.
Mercer was asked to bunt. Snider was not.
A little off the end of the bat. Originally, you thought maybe it was hit weakly enough to fall in. Borges, that good speed, able to make the catch.
Now Josh Harrison, 2 hits and 4 at bats.
You wonder. I know Clint Hurdle was asked yesterday in the post game about bunting Lambeau in the bottom of the 8th inning. Harrison on with nobody out, and he said he didn't want to take the bat out of McCutchen's hands because good chance he would have been walked. Maybe that's what he was thinking there with Snider.
Probably.
He wanted Jay Hay to have an opportunity to swing.
Harrison now in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, it's tough to hit. You go up there and you got a guy that's throwing 100 miles an hour, and he throws 2 straight sliders.
Broken bat pop up. Maybe playable. Adams makes the catch. 2 outs.
Yeah, just protecting off the end of the bat. It snaps his bat. And just hoping it gets out of play or out of the reach of Adams, and Adams comes up big for the Cardinals.
Adams had that bloody lip at PNC Park last week when he went out deep in foul territory and banged up against the railing. Here is Andrew Lambeau with 2 outs. 2 on, 8th inning. He takes strike 1. On Andrew Lambeau.
And Martinez getting a lot of help here after the 2 runners on. He has gone soft. He has gone away from the fastball for the most part, and he's gotten a bunch of swings.
One and 2.
And it doesn't matter how many consecutive pitches he throws off speed. It's still in the back of every hitter's mind that he has an upper 90s fastball. And so you got to protect against it. And you just hope you can adjust to the off-speed pitch.
Struck him out. First and second, nobody out. Pirates don't move them.
Here with Root Sports, we got Frankie Liriano going to take your questions at hashtag Bucks Tuesday. As we always say, Greg and John, keep it clean, keep it fun. That's anything you want for Francisco Liriano. On the field, off the field, he's kind of a quiet, reserved guy, doesn't say very much. It's just a nice chance to get to know him a little bit better. So any questions, include the hashtag Bucks Tuesday when you send in your question. We'll get to him in the pregame show and also during the broadcast tomorrow night. Greg?
All right, Robbie. We'll look forward to that. It'll be Adam Wainwright on the mound for the Cardinals against Jeff Locke. And then on Wednesday, Edinson Volquez against Shelby Miller. So Liriano will pitch against the Cubs in Chicago. Here is Jeanmar Gomez to pitch here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
40th appearance, 2-2, 3.38 ERA. Try to keep this just a one-run ball game.
Neil Huntington talked yesterday about some of the call-ups that might come tomorrow from AAA Indy, and one, maybe a long guy like a Casey Sadler, would allow Clint Hurdle to use Jeanmar Gomez in shorter outings. Yadier Molina, how's it out of play? Molina 1 for 3. Did some guys down in the minors that we heard there might be some surprises. You wonder about a guy like John Holtzcomb, who was pitching in the Independent League this year. Left-handed pitcher Bobby Laframboise. Oh, 2. That's for tomorrow. Right now the Pirates are down 1. And Gomez trying to keep it a 1-run deficit. Andrew McCutchen, Neil Walker, Russell Martin in the 9th. Pirates had runners at first and second and no one out. Top of this inning, Trevor Rosenthal, the closer. Gomez, career high 40 appearances. He last pitched 7 days ago against Milwaukee, a couple of scoreless innings. Tapped. Harrison coming on. A bare hand try, and he'll get Molina.
Oh, that's a great play once again. J-Hay.
Swinging bunt, and Harrison retires Yadier Molina.
He just makes it look easy. Comes in, gets a clean hop. Perfect throw.
Descalzo 1 for 3. He has singled to right, flied to left, struck out looking. Garrett Cole. Like was going to be a routine W for him, but certainly well on his way. He's being very efficient. And thrown 75 pitches through 6 innings. Given up just the 2 runs on the double by Holiday in the 3rd. And he gave up that base hit to Pete Kozma and a pinch hit home run to Colton Wong. A little flare and drop in. Get the latest on your favorite football teams during press conference Tuesday on Root Sports. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin takes the podium first, live at noon, followed by Pitt's Paul Chryst at 1 and WVU head coach Dana Holgorsen at 1:30. Press conference Tuesday, tomorrow, starting at noon on Root Sports. Pete Kozma comes to the plate with a runner at first base and 1 out. Hits are even at 10 apiece. The Cubs beat the Brewers 4-2. Well, now if the Cardinals get 3 outs, they take over first place in the National League Central.
Is that 6 straight losses for the Brew Crew?
I believe, yep. How the standings look at the moment.
Keep it a 1-run game. I don't think Andrew McCutchen will see that same pitch he saw the last time he faced him. I think it was the last time he faced him. 2-run lead through Andrew, a fastball he hit out.
Line to center, and McCutchen for the 2nd out.
Rosenthal, he has to face the heart of that lineup.
Matt Carpenter will pinch hit. Have the day off today. You know, the Brewers had held at least a share of the lead in the Central Division every day since April the 5th.
Wow. Well, hopefully they'll continue to share the lead.
Hopefully the Pirates can rally. But Gomez needs to get another out. Strike 1 on Carpenter. Descalzo started at 3rd. Kozma started at 1st. At 2nd, rather, for Colton Wong. Grounded to the shortstop. Mercer to first. So Andrew McCutchen, who did homer off Rosenthal at PNC Park last week, will lead things off. He's already homered today. Neil Walker will follow. And then Russell Martin. St. Louis, the Cardinals trying to win the first of this 3-game series. Andrew McCutchen will be leading off against Trevor Rosenthal, the Redbirds closer. He ended up earning his 39th save last Monday, but Andrew McCutchen greeted him with this home run to start the ninth. Got the Bucks to within 1 that made it 3-2. McCutchen's 20th home run of the season. He hit his 21st. His last time up 454 feet. That is tied with Carlos Beltran for the 5th longest ever here at this Busch Stadium.
Not only the second home run that Rosenthal has allowed. Looking for his 41st save, which would tie Kimbrel for the National League lead. Get out. And this time he starts him off with a hanging breaking ball. He's lucky to get a second chance at McCutchen. That pitch was hanging right down the middle. Just high enough, I guess, along the letters.
It's to right field. This will be the first out in the ninth. Nissan Road ahead tomorrow night. Jeff Locke against Adam Wainwright, and then Wednesday afternoon it's Edinson Volquez opposing Shelby Miller. A season series even at 8 apiece coming into this game. Walker doubled in a pair in the first. Seth Maness in line to get the W. He would go to 6-3. Garrett Cole would be tagged with the loss.
Breaking balls to McCutchen, changeups to Neil Walker. And he, like Martinez, has the upper 90s fastball, so as a hitter you got to look for it. You got to be prepared for the heat, but they're not seeing it.
Quick work of Walker. 2 outs.
He goes back to the changeup.
Russell Martin takes a strike. Couple of strikes.
8 pitches, 7 breaking balls.
Wow.
Or off-speed pitches, either the curveball or the changeup. Changeup sign. Right on right changeup. So now 10 pitches, 9 off-speed pitches. And this is a guy that throws 97 miles per hour. And then again, Pirates are a really good fastball hitting team. Best in baseball against velocity over 93. Cardinals know it.
Hold it. Molina to talk it over. Two and two. Full count.
And again, that may have been something they discussed. Molina might have went out there and said, I want you to throw the fastball just to show it to him. Speed up the bat and then come back with the curveball. Nope, going back out there with the fastball.
Roller to the right side. And a little bobble, and Martin is safe. So the Pirates have some life here in the 9th inning.
Who knows? Came back with the fastball, ties up Martin. It's a foot race.
Adams charged with his 2nd error of the game. You'd think that the fact that the Pirates don't have a left-handed bat would play into Rosenthal's favor, but actually right-handed hitters are batting .258 against Trevor Rosenthal. Lefties just .184.
Probably because of that changeup. The curveball to him, everyone he's thrown pretty much as he's left up. If he hangs one here to Gabby, he could turn it around. Straight fastballs. That one up out over the plate. Challenging Gabby. Up in the zone. You see the shadows creeping in. Shouldn't affect the hitter. I mean, as long as the pitcher's in the daylight, you're seeing the ball pretty well. It's not. I know it's hard on your TV screen. It looks pretty dark there, but the hitter can see pretty well at this point.
Fouls away 98.
When the shadows get beyond the mound, that's when it gets tough. You get the bright background behind the pitcher, but the pitcher's throwing the ball, releasing it out of the shade. That's much more difficult. But My guess is the hitters are seeing it okay, but one strike. See if we can get a mistake from Rosenthal.
That's it. The Cardinals come back to win the first of this 3-game series, and now the Cardinals lead the Central.
If you're a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, you're not feeling too good. It's a bad loss. It's a tough one to take. Yeah, you got the lead. You're in control. You think you're going to be able to walk out of here with the first game in St. Louis, and you hope to split the next 2 and win another series. If you're the Cardinal fans, Cardinal team, you know it's a great win. Back-to-back great big comeback wins for this Redbird offense, and they got Wainwright on the mound tomorrow. They're feeling pretty good about themselves.
Cardinals score 3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The pinch hit home run by Colton Wong that tied it, and then Matt Holliday's base hit off of John Axford, scoring John Jay, who had tripled, to take that lead. And they held on despite the fact the Pirates had some base runners throughout the ball game. They left 2 on in the 8th, and they strand a man in the 9th, and the Redbirds come away with the 1-run victory. It has been a tightly contested series, and now the Cardinals have won 9 of the 17 played in the season. We head back to the studios.